The room is too quiet. My hands are shaking, but I keep them flat on the table. One wrong move and everything collapses. The clock on the wall ticks like it knows what's coming. Tick, across from me. He's smiling. Not wide, not cruel. Calm. That's what scares me. The door behind me is locked. I didn't hear it close. I just know it is. I can feel it in my spine. The air smells like metal and sweat and something burnt. Someone is breathing too fast. It might be me. Say it, he whispers. I don't. If I speak, I lose. If I stay silent, someone else pays the price. The papers on the table are spread out like evidence at a crime scene. Names circled in red. Dates I recognize. A signature that looks like mine but isn't. Footsteps echo in the hallway. Getting closer. Too close. He leans forward. His voice drops. You had so many chances to defend yourself, he says. Why didn't you? My mouth opens. My heart slams. Every instinct screams to explain, to justify, to fight back. But I remember the rule. Never defend yourself. The door handle starts to turn. And in that final second, I have to choose. Was my silence about to save me or destroy everyone I loved? This all started on a morning so ordinary, it barely deserved memory. I woke up before the alarm, as I usually did, to the faint hum of traffic and the smell of tea drifting in from the kitchen. The city was just stretching awake. Vendors setting up carts, buses coughing smoke, life moving in its familiar, indifferent rhythm. I lived a simple life then, predictable, safe, or so I believed. I worked as a documentation officer in a mid-sized logistics firm, nothing glamorous. Papers, signatures, approvals. My job was to make sure everything looked right before it moved forward. I wasn't powerful. I wasn't important. I was invisible, and I liked it that way. At home, things were quiet. My wife, Sana, had a way of filling silence without words. A raised eyebrow, a half-smile, a cup of tea placed exactly where my hand would reach. We didn't have much, but we had routine, and routine felt like armor. Every evening, I walked the same route home. Same corner shop. Same stray dog asleep under the flickering streetlight. Same neighbors arguing softly behind thin walls. Nothing ever changed. That's why I noticed the first crack immediately. It was a small thing. A file on my desk that shouldn't have been there. No label, no reference number. Just a thin brown folder placed neatly on top of my stack. I assumed it was a mistake. Someone else's work. I slid it aside and continued my day. But it came back the next morning. Same folder, same place. Inside were documents I didn't recognize. Shipping records with altered dates. Approval stamps that were almost perfect, but not quite. And a signature at the bottom that looked disturbingly similar to mine. I felt a flicker of unease. Nothing more. Mistakes happened. Systems glitched. People misfiled. I closed the folder and told myself not to overthink it. That was my first mistake. Over the next few days, little things began to feel off. Conversations stopped when I entered rooms. Emails went unanswered. My supervisor, a man who barely noticed me before, started watching me too closely. At home, Sana sensed it before I said anything. You're quieter, she said one night, stirring the pot slowly. Did something happen? No, I replied too quickly. Just work. She didn't push. She never did. But she looked at me longer than usual, like she was memorizing my face. A week later, I found a note slipped into my drawer. Let it pass. Don't explain. No name. No threat. Just advice. I laughed it off. Even joked about it to myself. People love drama. Offices thrive on rumors. Still, that night, I checked the lock twice before sleeping. As days passed, the folder grew thicker. More documents. Bigger numbers. More forged signatures always mine. I considered reporting it, explaining, defending myself. But something deep inside me hesitated, because every time I thought about speaking up, I remembered the note. Don't explain. And somewhere beneath the calm of my ordinary life, something unseen was quietly positioning itself, waiting. At first, it was subtle. Misplaced files, unanswered emails, the quiet judgment in the eyes of coworkers who had once ignored me. But subtlety has a way of growing, like rot behind walls. I began to feel watched everywhere: hallways, elevators, even at home. Sana noticed my tension, and I tried to hide it, but the tight line of her lips told me she understood more than I wanted. Then came the first incident, the client call. I was reading a shipment report when the phone rang. A simple discrepancy in inventory. Nothing serious. But when I tried to explain, my voice faltered. The client, normally polite, erupted. He claimed I had falsified documents, accused me of theft, and demanded immediate action. My hands shook. I began. He cut me off. "Save your excuses," he said. "You've caused us enough trouble." I hung up, heart hammering. The office felt smaller, suffocating. People passed me in silence, eyes averted. I could sense judgment before it was even spoken. And the damn folder sat in my drawer, thickening with more evidence of crimes I didn't commit. A few days later, a security guard approached me at the parking lot. His tone was casual, but the words were sharp. "You should watch yourself. People notice when things go missing." He smiled faintly, then walked away. Nothing had actually gone missing, not yet, but the seed of doubt was planted. The thought that someone somewhere was orchestrating this made me paranoid. At home, the tension gnawed at me. Sana tried to offer comfort. "Maybe it's just stress," she said softly. But when she left the room for a moment, I found another note tucked under the newspaper. "Don't defend yourself. Not now. Not ever." The handwriting was different this time. Younger, sharper. I didn't understand. I didn't dare ask. Weeks passed. Incidents escalated. My computer was hacked. Emails deleted. False complaints filed against me. My coworkers' friends even began to distance themselves. One by one, they questioned my integrity without ever confronting me directly. The HR manager called me in multiple times, each meeting more hostile than the last. Every question, every raised eyebrow, every scribbled note in the folder felt like a trap. The turning point came late one night. I stayed after hours to sort through the mounting pile of files, trying to make sense of it all. The office was empty. The hum of the air conditioning filled the room. I noticed the folder again, and when I opened it, this time there was a photo inside, not a document. A photo of me leaving work earlier that day, carrying my bag. Someone had been following me, watching, waiting. My chest tightened. My hands shook as the realization sank in. I wasn't just being set up, I was being hunted. The next morning, my car had a scratch across the hood. Not small, deliberate. A warning. Someone had been there. Someone had been close enough to touch it. I stopped speaking in meetings, stopped asking questions. Even at home, I became quieter, shrinking into shadows. Sana's concern grew, her gaze lingering on me in a way that made me feel both guilty and exposed. Then, one evening, I received a phone call from a private number. A voice, calm and deliberate, whispered, "Stop defending yourself. Every word you speak will be used against you." My stomach churned. I hung up, tried to convince myself it was a prank. But deep down, I knew it wasn't. Every day after that, life became a careful calculation. Every movement, every glance, every word measured. I couldn't trust anyone. I didn't even trust myself. The folder was always there, waiting, growing, and I couldn't ignore it. And yet, in the back of my mind, a dangerous thought kept surfacing. Maybe silence could protect me. Maybe not defending myself was the only way to survive. But survival came at a cost. And soon, I would find out just how high that cost could go. The door slammed. I froze, heart hammering. The folder was on the table, open, pages scattered like evidence of a life I didn't recognize. He stepped in, calm, predatory, every step echoing against the sterile walls. "You finally understood," he said, voice low. "Or maybe you didn't. Either way, it ends tonight." Sana screamed from the hallway. I turned too late. He grabbed her arm. She struggled. "Let her go," I shouted, but my voice sounded distant, weak. He whispered, dragging her closer. "You'll ruin everything if you defend yourself." I wanted to fight. I wanted to explain, but the rule burned in my mind. Never defend yourself. He tossed the folder at me. Papers fluttered. My own handwriting stared back at me, forging confessions I never made. The photos, the notes, the emails, all pointing to a truth I didn't create. But everyone else would believe it. Sana twisted free and shoved him. "Run," she yelled. I froze. A single thought. If I move, if I argue, everything collapses. He lunged for me. I stepped back. Silence. My chest burned. Then, a small, almost imperceptible smile crossed his face. "You see? You know the truth," he said. "And yet, you do nothing. That's why you survive." Suddenly, sirens. Red and blue lights flashing through the window. He froze, confused, hesitated. And in that hesitation, everything fell apart. The police stormed in. He tried to run, but the folder was in my hand. I tossed it onto the desk, scattering the evidence in front of the arriving officers. "Step away," they shouted. He raised his hands. Panic replaced calm, his perfect control shattered. The man who had haunted me, manipulated me, controlled every moment of my life, was just another human fallible, fearful, caught. I didn't speak. I didn't explain. I didn't defend myself. And yet, for the first time in weeks, I breathed. The office was quiet after they left. Not the normal hum of computers and chatter, no. This was different. The echo of footsteps, radios, and sirens lingered, like ghosts that refused to leave. I sat at my desk, still holding the folder. Pages scattered, some crumpled, some wet from the nervous sweat on my hands. Everything I had feared had come true, and yet, paradoxically, I was still here. Sana sat beside me, silent, trembling. I reached for her hand. She didn't pull away. That small connection anchored me to reality, reminding me that some things, love, loyalty, couldn't be fabricated or stolen. Outside, the police were questioning everyone. I stayed quiet, as instructed by my own silent rule. Every word I had spoken in recent weeks would have been twisted, weaponized. But now, the truth unfolded without me saying a single thing. He had been exposed completely. All the forged documents, the surveillance, the manipulations, they were now evidence against him. My silence had done what my words never could. The officers discovered cameras he'd planted, emails he'd sent from fake accounts, even financial discrepancies he had attempted to pin on me. It was almost poetic. My refusal to defend myself had forced him to reveal everything. Over the next few days, the aftermath became clear. At work, my reputation slowly recovered, though whispers lingered. Some colleagues avoided me, unsure if they could trust the person who had remained silent while chaos unfolded. Others looked at me with awe, noticing a quiet strength they hadn't seen before. The company reinstated me fully, though caution remained in the air. Sana and I took long walks in the evenings, relishing the calm we had once taken for granted. We didn't speak much about what happened, because words could never carry the weight of those weeks. Silence had been our shield, our weapon, our salvation. I realized that defending myself, explaining, arguing, any of that would have played into his hands. Only by staying quiet had I preserved everything that truly mattered. He, on the other hand, faced legal consequences. Arrest, charges, public exposure. His meticulously constructed world crumbled, brick by brick. It was a reminder that control is fragile, and manipulation only works as long as fear is sustained. Weeks turned into months. I returned to my routines, but I was changed. Not visibly, but internally. Every step, every glance, every interaction was more deliberate. I learned to trust intuition over instinct, observation over reaction. And most importantly, I learned the dangerous power of silence. One evening, as we sat in our small apartment, Sana finally spoke. "You didn't defend yourself," she said softly. "Even when everything was against you. How did you do it?" I smiled faintly, letting the memory linger without explanation. "Sometimes," I said, "not defending yourself is the only way to protect what's truly yours." And in that quiet room, surrounded by ordinary life restored, I understood the full weight of that lesson. Silence had been my armor. My choice to remain still had been my rebellion. My victory. The folder sat in a drawer, unopened, but no longer threatening. The city moved around us, indifferent as ever, but I had survived. Not by fighting, not by speaking, not by proving myself. I survived by refusing to play the game he wanted me to play. And for the first time, I felt free. The lesson lingered. In a world full of liars, manipulators, and predators. Sometimes the greatest strength is not in your voice, but in your restraint. Never defend yourself. And in the silence, justice will sometimes speak louder than words ever could.